everybody. Did you know that your gut is responsible for both absorbing essential nutrients from the food that you eat, while at the same time protecting you from the harmful compounds that make their way into your body alongside that food? In order to do this, your gut has a complex and highly efficient system in place. And when this system is not working properly, it is unable to properly absorb nutrients and exposing you to potentially harmful toxins and microbes. This breakdown of your gut's defenses, better known as leaky gut, can have a domino effect that can throw off your entire body out of whack, including your brain. Hi, my name is Lysandra Garcia. I'm an integrative, developmental, and educational specialist, and my focus is helping you reverse the learning and behavior challenges that your child's experiencing. So in this episode, we're going to explore exactly what leaky gut syndrome is, how tiny molecules known as lipopolysaccharides can cause it, and some of the negative effects that leaky gut and those lipopolysaccharides, or LPS, can have on your overall health. And most importantly, we're going to cover some steps you can take to heal the leaky gut syndrome and keep your digestive tract and brain working correctly. So first, I want you to make sure that you hit subscribe so you know when the next piece of content is available. You'll be the first to know. But we're going to start off. Here's a rule of thumb. If your gut is out of balance, your body is out of balance. And if your gut is out of balance, your brain is out of balance, right? If you have a leaky gut, you have a leaky brain. They mirror each other. The brain and the gut mirror each other. So we have a lot of bacteria, and a lot of it is good. We have really good bacteria, and we have not so good. So if you have your yard, I love to use the yard as a metaphor or an analogy, probably more like an analogy. So if you had all dirt, like when you first move in and it's all dirt, that's your yard. But your yard is eventually, it's either going to have grass or weeds or a combination of both. Okay, so all of that is like our bacteria. The grass is like our good bacteria, and the weeds is like our bad bacteria, and we want to keep everything in check. We want to have more grass than weeds. We don't want it to be full of weeds, because once the weeds take over, then everything else dies, right? So gram-negative bacteria is a bad bacteria, and it has what we call lipopolysaccharides, LPS, or endotoxins, on its cell walls. So LPS, endotoxins and LPS can be used kind of interchangeably. These are the most pro-inflammatory substances, and they could really be at the root cause of all root causes. Okay, and especially when we're talking about the brain. So in the context of brain support, LPS causes microglia activation. So in a couple videos ago, we talked about that the microglia are the immune cells of the brain. So the LPS causes those immune cells to activate, and then further neuronal loss in the brain disrupts communication between the HPA axis, which causes anxiety. It also gets into the amygdala and the hippocampus, which is in the limbic system, and that disrupts memory function. And that's just a few things, right? It can migrate to the blood-brain barrier, cause inflammation. So it can go from the gut to the blood-brain barrier. That's where it's going to hit first. And the blood-brain barrier, it's going to cause inflammation. It's going to lead to like a leaky brain, and then stimulate the microglia cells in the brain. And then that leads to cognitive decline and inhibits dopamine receptors. So you can already just see all the potential problems that can be happening with these lipopolysaccharides. Your digestive tract has a semi-permeable membrane. So, all the membranes, like all your bacteria, they have permeable membranes. But your digestive tract also has a membrane that protects your tissues from harmful compounds. And they selectively allow certain molecules to pass from your intestines into your bloodstream. And to do this, your gut has a multi-layered protective mechanism to keep harmful toxins and microbes like LPS from sneaking through. So this barrier system is designed to protect you, but sometimes compounds like LPS can activate your immune response and trigger a spike in inflammation, disrupting your intestinal barrier and allowing these harmful molecules to sneak their way out of your gut. So the LPS is actually causing the leakage and getting in and then stimulating the immune system and then causing all sorts of havoc in your brain all at the same time. And this leakage and malfunction of the defenses is commonly referred to as the leaky gut syndrome, and it can allow the LPS to invade the bloodstream. And subsequently it can create a condition known as metabolic endotoxemia. Okay, and also, again, it can go up to the brain and do all kinds of stuff. So metabolic endotoxemia occurs when your intestinal barrier is damaged, allowing an influx of LPS into your bloodstream. And some conditions that have been associated with elevated LPS include autism, arteriosclerosis, metabolic conditions like obesity, type 2 diabetes, neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, arthritis, osteoarthritis, asthma, and autoimmune diseases like multiple sclerosis and lupus. So a lot of those have to do with the brain. And even multiple sclerosis is like there are lesions in a part of your brain. So clearly, leaky gut syndrome and subsequently elevated levels of LPS can have serious consequences for your health. So what can we do to heal leaky gut and reverse the effects seen in metabolic endotoxemia? So that's the big question. So healing the gut, when it comes to healing the gut naturally, the primary goal is to minimize the inflammation while giving your gut the nutrients, right? We want to put out the fire and we want to nourish it. And it requires a big picture approach and some lifestyle changes, okay, such as eating a well-rounded healthy diet that's full of nutrient-dense and non-inflammatory foods. So if you're wondering about which foods are inflammatory, we have some general inflammatory foods that you can search online and see, but things like gluten and dairy and corn and soy, those are, eggs sometimes can be, every person has what's inflammatory to them. So doing a food sensitivity test is very good at determining what might be inflammatory for you. But if you want to just some generic things, then go online and look. And things like, of course, MSG and anything artificial and chemicals and all that kind of stuff. Also, minimizing and managing stress, getting plenty of high quality sleep, because sleep is very restorative and that's how you repair. Being mindful of exposure to gut disrupting toxins like heavy metals, pesticides found in produce, chemicals that can leach out of plastic containers, for example, and incorporating digestion boosting leaky gut supplements like digestive enzymes. Okay, so if you're having any issues with your gut, you do need a whole lifestyle change in order to fix it, and it can be a long time. I still have some things something is still going wrong that I haven't pinpointed in my own digestive tract. It's like way better than it used to be, but there's like still something there and I can't quite pinpoint it. So I'm still working on it. So it can be a very long journey. But you need to do all of that I just said in addition to addressing the microbiome. And the microorganisms that make up this ecosystem that's in your gut play a big role in regulating inflammation and maintaining the integrity of your gut lining. And there are some specific strains of probiotics that are particularly well suited to address endotoxemia and leaky gut symptoms. And using probiotics is going to be one of the most potent ways to rebalance your microbiome and recover from leaky gut and endotoxemia. So we're giving our body the good bacteria strains that it needs, but not all probiotics are created equally. So different strains do different things. So if you want to know what you're going to be targeting in order to choose the right strain of probiotics. Research has found that specialized strains of a specific type of probiotic, known as spore-based probiotics, can have a remarkable impact on halting the progression of leaky gut syndrome and healing the lining of your gut. In fact, one study found that supplementation with spore-based probiotics was able to reduce metabolic endotoxemia by 42% without any other lifestyle changes. Okay, so it's not a ticket to not change, your environment, but they're so powerful that they still can make a powerful change even when you're not doing the other changes. My personal favorite probiotic is Megaspore Biotic by Microbiome. I think they were probably the original makers of spore-based probiotics, and now that there's other people doing it, it's made out of 5 specific strains, and these strains of probiotics are found in Megaspore Biotic are scientifically proven to help heal leaky gut and reverse endotoxemia, which in the long term drastically reduces your risk of developing a number of chronic life-altering diagnoses and all those like brain-related things that we were talking about. And recently, my Megaspore Biotic, because it's usually in a capsule, it was formulated in a gummy for kids probably just a couple months ago. So normally I don't usually promote gummies for supplements, but I highly respect and trust this company, and this is going to be really worth it. So if you have younger children and all they'll do is just chew on a gummy, then this is a great way for you to get your supplement. So if you're interested in trying Megaspore Biotic in order to help reverse leaky gut and the damage caused by LPS, then use the link in the description below. And if you'd like support for more comprehensive protocol, other things that you might want to use, please use my calendar link that I'll put also in the description to book a consultation. So I will have to say, on my own personal learning journey, in the beginning I used to just, some people ask me, well, this probiotic has 5 billion of this or whatever, but it's really, there's some different things that you need to know about probiotics. First of all, each strain does a different thing. So probiotics or bacteria excrete things, right? They poop, basically. I mean, they're excreting stuff. Good bacteria excrete things that help your body. Bad bacteria excrete things that harm your body. So what you want to do is you want to figure out what this bacteria is doing and what is it that you need. So you can buy a probiotic that has 25 strains of whatever, but none of those maybe are what you need. Or maybe some of them have general things. So I have started, and I don't have it finalized or put together yet, but I every time I come across a bacteria and what it does, like a probiotic, I put it in a document, and I'm throwing it all in a document because I want to create like a guide or a PDF to show like what different things are doing. So let's say if you have a child with autism, there's going to be some strains that are going to be typical for maybe some of those symptoms. But if your issues are more GI, well, then you're going to have, you're going to want different strains that do different things. But the Megaspore Biotic specifically is helping with leaky gut. It's helping with the LPS and toxemia and then there's they have one product called like Zen Biome, and it has a specific strain of a specific probiotic, and that helps with kind of things like anxiety and stuff like that. So anyway, do your homework on your probiotics, but know that some people are really afraid of bacteria. We have really good bacteria and really bad, and that's why using hand sanitizer is like terrible, because it's stripping your whole, that you have a bacteria ecosystem all over your skin. And so and what you're doing is you're stripping it away, and then you're just allowing for bad bacteria to grow back, or just have nothing. You're too sterile. You don't want to be sterile. Anyway, again, click on the subscribe button and check out the Megaspore Biotic using the link below, or use my calendar link to get a consultation with me, and we can talk about some more of your personal issues. And until then, have a blessed week, and I will see you next on the next video.